Good morning, class 6 students. So today I'm going to teach you the prince and the swallow. Swallow. So what makes you happy? Do you feel happy when others around you are happy? What do you think makes people happy? There are many things that make people happy, but you get those answers for yourself, and at the end I will give you the answers. Now there's a mistake here. Don't worry, I will correct it. So we are a family of small birds that are found all over the world. Now this is about the swallows. The swallows. They differ. Swallows are a family of small birds that are found all over the world. They differ widely in coloring and can be anything from brown to red and blue, but they are all similarly shaped. They have small streamlined bodies and long pointed wings which allow them to fly for longer periods of time. They mainly live on insects. Swallows are well adapted to living in urban areas alongside humans, so it is not uncommon to see swallows making nests in roofs, corners of unused rooms, and in barns and other agricultural buildings. Now some of the species of swallows are considered endangered. Because why they endangered? Because the numbers are declining. This is mostly due to the habitats being destroyed by human beings like us. So the numbers are declining. Now let's go back to the story. Now the Happy Prince was a beautiful statue. They stood on a tall column high above the city. Now this prince, he never saw any problems while he lived in the palace. Now the statue was covered with thin leaves of gold. He had sapphires for his eyes and a ruby in his sword. Sapphire and ruby are precious stones. One night, a little swallow flew over the city. Now the swallow was flying with his friends and they were going to Egypt. But he felt tired and let his friends go, and he said, I'll stay back the night here and I will rest, and next morning I will start going. So he was tired and he wanted to spend the night between the feet of the Happy Prince. So what he did, he flew down to the feet of the Happy Prince and he started resting. And as he was about to sleep, just then a large drop of water fell on him. Now he was curious because he flew and he looked at the sky and he saw there's no rain clouds, no rain. From where did the water come? Then another drop of water again fell on him. The swallow decided to look for another place. He said, from where the water is falling I don't know, but I cannot stay here because next morning I have to go. I need to have a good night's rest. Next morning I have to travel. When he said that, just then a third drop of water fell on him. Then he looked up and he flew to the statue's face, and there he saw that these were the tears coming from the eyes of the Happy Prince. And the swallow was filled with pity and sadness for the statue. The swallow asked him, who are you? And why are you crying? The Happy Prince told the swallow that he lived in a palace when he was alive. So when I was alive, I lived in the palace and I had a kind human heart. There was no sorrow at all. I never saw sorrow. I never knew what is sorrow. I was happy, everybody else was happy. And they called me the Happy Prince. And his courtiers also called him the Happy Prince. After his death, after he had died, he had been set up on a high pillar as a statue. His heart was made of lead, yet it always cried when he saw the ugliness and the misery of the city. How the people were living, what problems they were going through. He told the swallow that, look, there's a boy over there, of a seamstress. He is sick. He is crying for oranges, but his mother cannot give him oranges to eat because they don't have money. So he told the swallow, he said, you take this ruby from my sword and go and give it to her before you go to Egypt. So the swallow said, okay, I will do it. And then he flew and laid the ruby on the table of the poor woman. Maybe on the video you will see it laying it on the windowsill. Then the happy prince, he saw a writer. The writer was suffering from cold and was hungry. So the happy prince told the swallow, he said, do me another favor, please, before you go. Take a sapphire from my eyes. Take the sapphire which is in my eye socket, which is my eyes. Take it and give it to the writer. Now the swallow, he didn't want to pluck the sapphire out from his eyes because he will lose one eye. But he obeyed unwillingly. After that, the prince, he saw a girl selling matches on the road and she fell into the gutter. And he felt sad for her. Then he told the swallow, he said, you take out the other sapphire from my eye and give it to her. Now the swallow, he said, no, how could I do that? I don't want to do that, you'll be totally blind. But the happy princess said, no, please do it. Then the swallow, unwillingly, he took that, plucked it out, and he gave it, put it in the palm of the bag or the palm of the match girl. Then the happy prince, he told the swallow, you can fly away to Egypt. Now the swallow said, no, I am not going to fly away. I am going to stay with you because you are blind forever, and I am going to be your eyes, and I am going to tell you what all problems the city is facing and its people. And you and me will help them. Now the swallow reported about the suffering of the starving people, and the happy prince told the swallow, you take up the gold leaves from me, which I am decorated with, and give it to the poor people. So this continued for a long time. He was helping the poor people by taking out the gold leaves, the decoration, and now the statue became dull and grey. And because no decoration was there, and also the frost started making the bird colder, the swallow colder and colder, and he was about to die. So one day he flew up to the happy prince and he bade him goodbye and told him and kissed him, and then the swallow fell down at the feet of the statue and he died. Meanwhile, the lead heart of the prince broke into two after the swallow died. Now many people started coming to the town and they started looking at the statue and they said, statue looks horrible, it's not beautiful, neither it is useful. So the mayor also said the same thing, and he said, burn the statue, take it down and burn it. So they put the statue in the furnace, but the heart did not melt. The heart was taken and thrown away on a dust heap where the dead swallow also was lying. Meanwhile, God asked his angels to bring the two most precious things from the city. God told his angels, go to the city and bring me the two most precious things. So the angels went and they brought God the two most precious things. And what were the two most precious things? Both the lead heart of the happy prince and the dead swallow. So the moral of the story is, what is happiness? Happiness when we do good for others and make others happy. When we make others happy, that is happiness. So for today, so much. And after this lesson, now this is only the summary of the lesson. So you watch the video and you will understand better. So exactly after this lesson, I will be playing you the video. So for today, have a good day and goodbye. Good morning, class 6 students. I have just taught you the summary of the chapter 10, the prince and the shallows. So I try whatever you have learned, keep your book open and follow the lesson over there. And now I will show you a video on the same chapter. Follow the video and I am sure you'll enjoy the video. And if you like the way I am doing the teaching or the way I'm trying to present your lessons on YouTube, you can subscribe or give a thumbs up, or you can comment there, but do not give any negative comments. So thank you, and let's not wait, and let's go and watch the